Campbell here, coming at you live with another trade recap. Today's date is 3/20/2019, and overall it was a light day. Really didn't get much trading in. Well, I got three total trades in, but I made mistakes, and I'm gonna go over them right now. So stay tuned. So the first trade that I took this morning was this ES trade here, and you can see, I hope, where I placed this trade. It was just beautiful, and it worked out so perfect. I was really happy with it and proud of it. It was one of those trades that just work out very good and very fast, and it worked out. So pre-market here, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, we come up into this value area here, this gray box. It's part of my charting software that I give out for free in the chat room if you guys want to be a part of that. But it punched up through early this morning, and then we started selling off into the morning. Well, right before the open, about 8:30 or so, we come back up here, and I just so happened to be on the computer that early in the morning, and I saw it, and I placed a daily trade, and I didn't get in until about right. Let me move my stuff around. I didn't get in until about right here, and I just did it in the money. So I bought a contract, up here, up higher, so it cost me a little bit more money, and I just wrote it down and got out once we broke this low. So once that low was broke, I jumped out and got it. But the pattern here is what's important, and that trade yielded me about $150. So we punched up, and we come down. What are we looking for? We're looking for lower highs in the best possible places of resistance, right? So if you look at my value area box here, you can see the resistance right there, and once we started coming back down, it was just a no-brainer. Jumped in, jumped out, and that was trade one. It was $150 in the books, and pretty easy trade. Kind of a beautiful pattern too, if you just admire it, if you like that sort of thing. And the second trade was choppy and ugly, and it is what it is. But after the open, YM and most of the indices sold off, so I just patiently waited for this to come down into this -5. It put in this low and then come up and then come back down, and couldn't punch through the low. I didn't take this entry. I just didn't like it. It didn't get in this oversold scenario here, and it was too close to a double bottom, and it just at the time looked like it was just going to roll over. So what I did was I just waited for this thing to do another cycle, and when it cycled back and we got this oversold status, I ended up entering somewhere in that area. I waited for this to actually start coming back because I just didn't fully trust it, but I wanted to get involved. So I think I got in here. It was another in the money, so my contract was down here, so I paid a little bit more money for the contracts, but and then I held through this push here, and I held all the way up into here and sold right there. So this one yielded me about $80. So all in all, about $230 on the day. Not bad. It wasn't like huge, but I just wanted to show you the pattern recognition and everything else. So, and then last but not least, actually let me show you this really fast. So one of our really good traders in the chat room made this trade this morning, and I didn't make it, but he did, and he killed it. He made a really good trade, and it's worth pointing out. Look at this pattern. So we come down into the -5 on /CL crude oil, and he saw that we put in this low, and we pushed up and come back, and we started getting oversold in this area right here. He bought contracts right here, but get this, he held them all the way to this value area right here. So just hats off to you. You know who you are. Great job. That was an amazing trade. I totally missed this trade. Didn't get involved. He did, and he really rocked it out. I mean, that was just a picture perfect trade, and you couldn't get any better than that right there. I mean, look at this pattern. Low, higher low. He entered right there and rode it all the way up to value area. Talk about patience now. I mean, he just really just waited it out. I think he got out right here somewhere once it started selling off there, and he's kind of beating himself up after this happened. But you know, look at that meat though. I mean, he got the most of that move before the unknown. You know, this thing could have just tanked. So I mean, he got a really good meat move right there, and it was just a A plus, check plus move. I mean, wow, that was great. So last but not least, let me show you this one really fast. I actually traded a little bit of stock this morning, and I want to show you the chart, and I'm going to show you this because it has to do with deviations. And if you see all these red lines that I have posted out here, I have to excuse my daughter. She's kind of screaming there. But if you'll notice, we gapped way down. So right before open, what I did was I took and drew out these deviation levels. Well, I knew my original plan was to short it under 17. Well, once I drew these deviations, I knew that 17, or this line right here, if you'll look at this line right here, this is the -3 deviation. There is a 99% chance at the -3 deviation that price closes above the -3 deviations. It's almost rarely impossible for it to do that. So with a 99% chance to close below it, all I simply did was I was originally going to short it, and then once I did this, I thought, whoa, wait a minute, this is the bottom. I need to do something here. So when it sold off to 1683, I just waited for it to punch back up through 17. I ended up getting a fill about 1707. Here's where I made my mistake. So I wanted 1,000 shares right here, and I wrote it up to, you know, I made like 12 cents on it, and I could have made a whole lot more, but I was with 1,000 shares, it was $120, and you know, that just added a little piece of, you know, the pie towards the bigger picture. You know, trade small, trade often, and basically I missed a zero when I put in the order, and I only got 100 shares, so I only made $12 on that trade. So human error, it happens. And you know, if I knew I only had 100 shares, I'd have just let this thing go and tried to get as much out of it as I could. But I really thought I had my 1,000 shares, and I just didn't. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there just because I did use the deviation levels on this stock. You know, I knew we were there at that -3 right here, and you know, you have to go with the odds there too as well. So I knew a lot of people would be trying to sell that and short that breakdown also, but a lot of people don't have these deviations. They don't know that we're sitting at a -3, so it was hard for people to read that this thing was going to pop. So you know, it is what it is. Hope everybody has a good day. So my total today is $242 altogether with this trade also. So not a home run day, but you know, you gotta just go with it sometimes and get what you get. So thanks for watching. Till next time, have a good day.